Hey everyone, it's Slimming by A here, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this rainbow loom Pop-Tart bracelet. The reason why I named it the Pop-Tart bracelet is because it just looks like the edge is a crust sort of, and in the center there's all this filling and the cover of the frosting. So that's the reason why I named it the Pop-Tart bracelet. And so yeah, in this bracelet I use limited edition bands. I use the the fuchsia bands and then the peach frost bands. And if you want to know what they look like, then it's just like the exact same colors that you see right here. They are very pretty, but they are $3.99 a pack, and you can order them off of rainbowloom.com. So for today, you'll be needing a hook. I ordered this hook off of rainbowloom.com as well as the bands, and I will put a link in the description box to buy it. And also, you will be needing your bands, and I would highly recommend using 2 colors instead of 1 or 3 because like this bracelet I use 2 colors. And the reason why I would recommend to use 2 colors is because to keep track of where you started and ended at. So today, for the bands that I'm using, is just regular white from rainbowloom.com, and then I have neon blue that I got from Michael's. Last but not least, you'll be needing a C-clip. I don't know if you guys could see the C-clip or not, but let me zoom in just in case. You will be needing a C-clip to clip off your bracelet, and I would not recommend to slip knot it off. Let's see if my camera could focus. I would not recommend to slip knot it off because these bands have a little bit of pressure on it, not too much, but the slip knot just makes the bands not very, closed off, because the band will pretty soon just break or either unravel. So I'd recommend a C-clip because it secures it very well and it just makes it look more official and more pretty. So now that we have everything that we need, let's get started. Just really quick, I want you guys to know that the amounts of bands will be linked in the description box below, and I will not say how much. I will just put in the description box. So now that you know everything that we need to, let's get started. So the first step that we need in order to make this bracelet is to grab your hook. Make sure that's right by your side because you'll be needing it for every step of this process. So the first band that I'm going to be using is blue. You want to get your band or whatever color you're using and wrap it around 4 times. 2, 3, 4. And once it's wrapped around 4 times, you want to get the same color, which is blue again, for me. And you just want to get all of those bands and pull it right through. And then place that band that's on your finger back on the hook. So now you have a quadruple cap band on 1 band. Now you want to get your next color if you are using 2 colors. Mine is white. Place it on your hook. Grab all these bands that are on your hook right in the beginning that we did and pull it right through that white band and place it back on your hook. This is just like making a single chain, so you want to get your next color and just pull it right through. Now I'm going to be calling every single one of these different colors links or loops. So I just got blue, so now I'm going to be using white again and just pulling it right through. And this bracelet depends on the size of your wrist. I have like a medium-sized wrist, so mine will take about, I'd say, 17 or 18 loops or bands. And this is just like making a single chain, so this may take a little bit of time. Not too much though, maybe like 2-3 minutes, the longest. And make sure that your bands are not twisted. Mine almost got twisted. And you just want to keep on switching the colors each time, just to make it pop out a little bit more. That's why I called it the Pop-Tart bracelet. So each time you just want to keep on placing the bands on and switching. And I'm almost done. And make sure, since we started off with blue, we want to end with blue. So I'm going to grab one more band, which is blue, and I'm going to just place it right through like we did with every single other one. I'm just going to zoom out really quick so we can see all these links or loops. And since they stretch quite a bit, I'm just going to be ending right there. This fits almost all of my wrist, but I'm just going to add a little bit more bands because I don't want my wrist to be restricted of what's going on with my camera. Focus. Well, my camera isn't focusing right now, and now it is. So, once again, I'm just going to keep on placing some more bands until it's almost the size of my wrist. So if you want to check to see if this is the size of your wrist for your bracelet, then you just want to place it on the table or whatever your flat surface is and wrap it around your wrist and see if it fits. Mine technically fits, but since these bands are super stretchy, they actually will give quite a bit of a fit. So once again, I started off with blue and now I am ending my bracelet with blue. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit here. And this next part is just a bit different than what we've done before. So we are going to get our hook and we are going to go inside that white band that is right there. Make sure that you're going inside 2 bands and we're going to place it on our hook like this. Now, in order to make this bracelet, you must know how to hook with a hook, of course. You must know how to rainbow loom hook or not origami, but it's sort of like what Isalicious Design said. This is mostly her design because she knows how to use a hook for rainbow loom bands. So you must know the technique of hooking with your rainbow loom bands before you are ready for this bracelet. So the bands that I just put on my hook are white. So since those bands are white, I'm going to get another white band, place it on my hook, and place that white band through only those 2 white bands. You do not want to pull them through the blue bands. You just leave the blue bands on your hook. And now we have the same thing, 2 white bands and 2 blue bands. Now, since the top 2 bands are white, I'm going to grab one more white band, place it on my hook, and pull through every single one of those bands and place it back on my hook. Now it's going to look like this. Sorry if you hear some noise, there's a plane that's just flying by my house. But since we just went into that white band, we are now going to skip that band and go into the blue band. And when you go into it, make sure that you're going into these 2 bands right here. And then, since the top 2 bands are blue, we're going to get another blue band and pull through only those 2 blue bands and place it back on the hook. And since the top 2 bands are blue once again, we're going to get one more blue band and pull it through all of those bands and place it back on the hook. Since we just went through those 2 blue bands, they are hooked onto these bands right here. We're going to skip those 2 bands and go to the white ones that are in front of it. And when you go through, make sure that you're going through those 2 bands. Since the top 2 bands are white, we're going to get another white band. Pull it only through those 2 white bands, not the blue ones, and place it back on the hook. Since the top 2 bands are white again, we're going to get another white band and pull it through all of those bands. The next 2 bands are blue, so you just want to put your hook through those 2 blue bands. You're going to get one more blue band, pull it through only the 2 blue bands, not the white, and just place it back on your hook. So since the top two bands are blue, you're going to get one more blue band and pull it right through and place it back on your hook. Now we are starting to create our bracelet already, and it's looking pretty good. So I think that you guys understand the technique now, so I'm going to let you guys just do it on your own, but I'm just going to go a little bit faster and talk a little bit faster as well. So we're going to go through those 2 white bands once again. We're going to get one more white band, pull it through only the 2 white bands, and place it on the hook. Since the top 2 bands are white, we're going to get one more white band and pull it through every single one of those bands. Now, since we just went into the white bands, we're going to go into the blue bands that are in front of it. Make sure that you're going to place your hook only in 2 of the blue bands, not any more or any less. And once you have your hook inside those 2 blue bands, since the top 2 bands are blue, we're going to get 1 blue band and pull it through only those 2 blue bands and place it on the hook. Then we are going to get one more blue band since the two top bands are blue, and pull it through right through every single one of those bands and place it right on the hook. Since we just did blue, we're going to do white, so we put our hook through 2 white bands. Since the top 2 are white, we're going to get 1 white band and only pull it through just only those white bands. Since the top 2 bands are white once again, we're going to get 1 white band and pull it through every single one of those bands and place it back on our hook. The next 2 bands are blue, so you get those 2 blue bands. Get another blue band since the top 2 blue bands are blue. Pull it through only those 2 blue bands. And then you want to get 1 more blue band and pull it through every single one of those bands. The next 2 bands are white. You're going to put your bands right through your 2 white bands, not your blue. Place it back on the hook. And get 1 more white band and pull it through all of those bands. Now we have created half of our bracelet. And this looks very pretty, I'd say so myself. So I think that you guys actually get the hang of this since I did half of the bracelet with you guys. So I'm not going to talk as much as I did in the tutorial, but I will shorten what we've done just recently. So we just went through white, and now we're going to go through 2 blue bands, get another blue band, pull it through, if my camera will focus. So I wish that my camera would just focus. Okay, so you could still see the blue bands, so you want to get this 1 blue band, pull it right through these 2 blue bands and place it back on the hook. And then, since these 2 blue bands are on the top, you're going to get 1 more blue band and you're going to pull it through all of those bands. So we just did blue, so now we're going to go through 2 white bands. Going to get another white band since the top 2 bands are white, and you're going to pull it through only those 2 white bands while holding back your blue bands and place it on from your finger to the hook. Since the top 2 white bands are white, we're going to get 1 more white band and pull it through every single one of those bands. The next color is blue, so you go through 2 blue bands. You want to get 1 blue band since the top 2 blue bands are blue, excuse me, since the top 2 bands are blue. So you want to get another blue band and only pull it through those 2 blue bands. Now, we want to get 1 more blue band since the top 2 bands are blue and pull it through every single one of those bands. The next 2 bands are white. So we want to go into those 2 blue, excuse me, sorry, my grammar is a little bit off today. We want to go into those 2 white bands and pull through that 1 band. And since the top 2 bands are white, we are going to get 1 more white band and pull it through everything. The next 2 bands are blue. So since the top is blue, we're going to get 1 more blue and pull it through the 2 blue. And we're going to get 1 more blue band and pull it right through everything. The next bands are white, so we're going to go through 2 of the white, and hopefully my camera will focus. So I'll be right back with the camera focused.